What's up, gangsters? We're almost halfway through the horrors of 2023, which means it's time to take a look at Scream 6. Or, what's this movie called? Scree-IV? Scree-Ice 6? Is this movie called Scream 6? The last one was called Scream, right? Why did they call that one Scream? In that case, they should have just called this one Scream 2. Or even better, they should have just been like, fuck it, and called this one Scream as well. Like, really, they should have been like, fuck you guys, like, you just figure out which movie we're talking about. I mean, you have internet on your phone, just look up the release date, like the year, and, you know, if you want to know which one we're talking about. Jesus. But, yeah, Scream 6. And I love the Scream movies, or well, mostly the first one. I made a video a little while back where I try and explain why I love them, where I talk about the first 4? Yeah, the first 4 Scream movies. I have seen Scream 5 since, although like in all honesty, I barely remember it. I was always going to see Scream 6. I guess I was just like never overly excited. And then when the trailer dropped, I watched it and I was like, yeah, that's a Scream sequel. So yeah, let's take a look at probably the biggest horror movie release of the year. In typical Scream fashion, we start with a cold open where a young woman is waiting for her date she met through Flirter. Remember that app?
Slashers, huh? What's your favorite scary movie?
Huh, so meta. She ends up getting killed, of course. Oh, jeez, cool it with the sound effects. Have you ever stabbed someone to death? I mean, I hope you didn't, but I'm also sure as hell it wouldn't have sounded like this. Anyway, a few early plot twists later and...
Who gives a fuck about movies?
So meta. So, now the movie starts and it's a year after whatever happened in Scream 5. I sincerely couldn't remember for the life of me, but fortunately there's some convenient exposition dump along the way. But now, of course, there's new murders taking place and oh. So, the thing that I was probably most excited about with this movie was finding out what the gimmick was going to be. You know how there's like a thing throughout the franchise? The original, like the first Scream, obviously was like a take or like a parody on the whole slasher genre in general. Then you had part 2 that went after the sequel. The third one, I'm sure did something. I think the fourth one kind of like it went after the reboot, maybe? And then Scream 5. I'm fairly confident had a gimmick as well. So I was just like, what's the meta gonna be in 2023? I initially thought that they were going for maybe this angle.
It's all about true crime limited series these days.
Okay, could be interesting. But then they're on about this.
Because nobody just makes sequels anymore. We're in a franchise!
The franchise angle. Sure, I'll go with that.
What about the whole goddamn franchise?
Yeah, I get it.
Fuck this franchise.
Stop it. So then the movie just sorta happens. Gil Weathers shows up, which, as stupid as it might sound, did make me go like, aw, Gil. Kirby shows up as well, which made me go like, aw, Kirby? She's from part 4? That's cool, I guess. This is also the first Scream movie where Neve Campbell doesn't reprise her iconic role as Sidney Prescott, which, honestly, I didn't mind. She's been through enough shit, you know, like, let her just live her life. If she didn't die in part 5, that is. I do not remember that movie, like, at all. Have I even seen it? Anyway, the movie plays out kinda how you'd expect. I mean, it is a Scream movie, after all.
Why did everyone just freak out when her phone rang?
So meta. And then the obligatory reveal and plot twist towards the end, which I won't spoil, mostly because I just don't really feel like talking about it. Because I just didn't care much for the killer. Or killers. I mean, who knows, right? To me, they were just rather unmemorable. And in general, the whole twist was just like, sure, why not? That might as well just have happened. I just really didn't care for any of the ending. Some other little things that kind of annoy me were, there's at least 2 instances where I'm pretty sure you would totally notice, or at the very least hear, the killer being there.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, come on, you would absolutely totally notice that, right? Or towards the end where there were at least 2 instances where they could have easily ended the movie by just straight up annihilating the killer. But I know, I get it. It's a movie. Maybe I'm being a little too nitpicky. I did quite like this one little action set piece with the ladder between the 2 apartments. I loved the damaged look of the mask, the Skeet Ulrich cameo, this throwback. Got him. Not so much the CGI blood. I feel like people often make the Scream movies out to be more gory than they actually are, but that could also just be my warped perception, when it comes to like gory horror movies. But I don't know, I feel like it is mostly just a lot of stabbings with over-the-top sound effects. Speaking of, look at this. What? Oh, that sincerely made me laugh out loud, as well as this quick little reaction.
Beheadings!
What? Beheadings? I mean, I know it's a callback to something brought up earlier, but why would you say that right there, right then? Yeah, let me just try and wrap it up at this point. It's a Scream sequel. I enjoyed it. It's just like, it's never going to recapture the magic of the original, for me at least. And I feel like that's also probably my biggest problem with this franchise, especially at this point, like 5 sequels deep. It's just like, the further we get, the more unlikely and unrealistic it becomes that like all of this is happening again. Fucking flies. But yeah, I mean, that is actually why I love the original so much. It was just like much more small scale, just a bunch of kids that love horror movies, know the tropes, and then all of a sudden find themselves in the middle of one. I mean, that's cool. But yeah, so Scream 6. That was fine. I enjoyed it. Yeah, that's the end of this video. Please let me know in the comments below what you thought, whether or not you agree with my take on this movie or not, I'd love to know. I know it has a pretty solid fan base, the Scream franchise. So you guys go ahead and do that, and then in the meantime, I'll see you all in a couple of days again for some more horrors of 2023. Cheers, have a nice day.